Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. My name is Sharang Murray. I represent Speed Global Education. And in this masterclass that we have in store for the next 1 hour, we have the University of Pittsburgh, the Katz Graduate School of Business, and we have some of their folks from the admissions team, and we've got a couple of alumni as well, Indian alumni, who are going to talk a little bit about their experience through the next couple of minutes. I'd like folks from the audience to tell us which city they are joining us from. Please tell us. Use the chat option that you can see on your phones, tablets, laptops, and tell us which city you are joining in from. We'd like to know a little bit about Praful's joining from Goa. Great place to join, this session. Praful from Goa, Rushi from Ludhiana, Mithilesh from Patna. All right, so we've got folks from the length and breadth of the city. We've got Rudra joining in from Mumbai, Tanya from Chandigarh. Um, we have folks joining in. If you've got some of your friends that are looking to also join in, please let them know. I do understand Zoom takes some time to connect. We've got a couple of folks. Habib has joined us from Lagos, so welcome to our friends from across the pond. It's like to call it. Priyank is here from Agra, Beatrice from Ghana as well. Thanks so much. We've got Watan who's here from Karachi. Welcome. And we've got a couple of folks from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, if I'd like to say that as well. We are expecting a few more people to join in, and over the next few minutes, we shall talk a little bit about. Afifa is joining us from Varanasi here in India as well. Over the next hour or so, we'll talk to you about what are some of the things you might have to keep in mind before taking their flight to the US. Learn from alumni, learn about their career trajectories, and a little more about University of Pittsburgh, the Cats School of Business as well. What I'll do very quickly is I'll just take you through a little bit about who we have in store in this in this panel. We have Trey Coles, who's also here from University of Pittsburgh. He's the Associate Director of Student Diversity and Recruitment at University of Pittsburgh. He's been there for a while, and he focuses on enhancing diversity and inclusivity in the student recruitment process. He's got about 3 years of experience in this role, and he's played a key part in attracting talented students from diverse background into the program. Prior to joining CATS, he served as the interim director of enrollment and management at Penn State University, and also, managed some of the CRM and other, related activities. He holds a Master's of Education in Higher Education and Administration from Penn State World Campus, equipping them with the skills to lead in higher education. So he's come from a higher education background, and he's the perfect person who you could ask any questions related to your profile and what it takes to join the University of Pittsburgh. We also have two alumni from the University of Pittsburgh. We've got Karthikeya, to start off with, he's currently working at Amazon. He's a recent MBA grad, and he has about 7 years of experience in strategy and consulting for the energy and the sustainability sector. I'm going to let him introduce himself a little more in depth, talk about his background. But we've got Karthikeya, and we'd like to thank him for joining us, and as well as we also have Akshay, who is the current customer experience and program manager at TikTok shop. So we'll let him to also introduce himself in shortly, and talk about some of his learnings and wonderful experiences that he's had. I'm just going to add these guys to spotlight as well. Right. So before we move on to Trey's talking about the university, we have a quick poll question, and we are going to ask this poll question, which might be helpful for candidates in the future, and through the the presentation that Trey also has, which is in your opinion, which university resource is the most crucial for securing a job abroad post qualification? If you'd like to share which university resource, and I know that university has a lot of resources when it comes to helping candidates find jobs abroad, what according to you are the is the most important resource? Is it the industry immersion programs? Are these internships? Is it one-on-one coaching? Is it workshops, or do you think it's all of the above? We'd also hear from Trace and from Akshay and Karthikeya as to what are some of the things that Pittsburgh Cats also provide the students. Is it only industry, immersions, internships, one-on-one coaching, or workshops? What do you think? We've got about 50% of you who have responded right now, but I'd request if any more of you could also respond to this poll. There's a poll tab right in front of your screen. We have around 60% participation. So for those of you who haven't done that, right now is a good time to let everyone know about. Perfect. I'm going to share the results. It is between the internships and all of the above. So yes, we had about 67% folks respond to the fact that one of the, it is important for the university folks to talk about industry immersions, internships, one-to-one coaching, and workshops as part of the crucial aspects in securing a job. And we will learn from Trey, and we learn from Karthikeya and Akshay as to what kind of resources does the University of Pittsburgh Katz School of Business also provide in this format. But over the next few minutes, we'll hear from Trey Coles, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the University of Pittsburgh, the Katz Graduate School of Business, the admissions process, and little more about the careers as well. Over to you, Trey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon, for this opportunity. And I wanted to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all attendees. Thank you so much for joining today. Again, my name is Trey Coles. I'm the Associate Director of Student Diversity Recruitment at Pitt Business. Today, we are joined by Karthikeya Shula and also Akshay Agarwal, who will be our panelists for today. We'll be hearing from them a little bit later. But I just want to send a huge thank you again to CE Global Education for this opportunity. We're really excited for today's presentation. And again, as Sharon mentioned, please utilize the Q&A box to ask questions, and we'll be answering questions towards the end of today's presentation. I see many students on the call from Mumbai. I had an opportunity to visit Mumbai actually twice in my career at Pitt. Once in 2024 and another time in 2022. And I had the most amazing paneer makai and dal makhani during my visit. And I hope to hopefully have an opportunity to experience that again in the future. So let's get started. So welcome to Pittsburgh. Of course, the city of Pittsburgh is located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is ranked as one of the top places to live in the U.S. by many of the top organizations in the country, such as Forbes, National Geographic, The Economist, and also Places Rated Almanac. And also in the city of Pittsburgh, you will find that the city hosts many Fortune 500 companies located in the city where our graduates have found opportunities as well, such as PNC, PPG, Wesco, Wabtuck, Dick's Sporting Goods, Alcoa, U.S. Steel, and many, many more. I've been in Pittsburgh my entire life. I grew up in the city and also am an alum of the University of Pittsburgh. It was very unfortunate over the weekend. This past weekend, our Pittsburgh Steelers unfortunately lost in the NFL playoffs. But we are very optimistic about next season and hope that we have a better opportunity to finally reach that Super Bowl in the future. A little background of the University of Pittsburgh. We have had over 230 years of excellence. So the university was established in 1787. And the university has approximately 15 graduate schools dispersed throughout the university who our business school partners with, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Some fun facts about the university is that we are ranked number 20 public university in the United States. We are also a top 3% for best global universities, and we have over 340,000 global alumni all throughout the world. So as I mentioned, I had a great opportunity to visit India. But on our campus, we have students from all over the world, and more importantly, in our business school, from Africa, China, India, of course, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Japan, and many, many more. Our campus houses over 33,000 students, with approximately 3,000 of these students being international. So Pitt is a very internationally friendly campus, and we do a great job of fostering international diversity. So many students feel welcome and comfortable on our campus because of our strong Indian population, strong international population as well. Another tidbit I wanted to highlight is the Cathedral of Learning. It is the second tallest educational building in the entire world. It's a very popular spot on campus, which we see many students typically gravitating to during the first couple of weeks of the semester. Many students during my interviews they say it reminds them of Harry Potter. So it is a very awesome spot on campus where we have many faculty locations, classrooms, but also a opportunity to study during the semester, which is another quiet spot where students can gravitate to during the year. So what we offer at Pitt Business, and I'll focus more so on our full-time MBA, but we do offer our full-time signature MBA, which is an 18-month program. We offer the part-time MBA, an online MBA, which is more so considered our part-time MBA, a plethora of specialized master's programs, doctoral programs, executive education programs, and also 8 education and research centers. Focusing on the full-time MBA, it is designed to be completed as a cohorted experience. So typically the program is completed within 18 months, which also aligns for a summer internship and then an integrated capstone experience as well. Our program is a little bit different compared to other 2-year programs because the program is designed for you to rejoin the workforce 4 months sooner than what you would find in a traditional 2-year MBA. For our full-time MBA, we are typically looking for students that have anywhere between 3 to 5 years of full-time work experience. We have seen students with a little under 3 years. We've seen, of course, students above the 5-year span, but average work experience for our students is 3 to 5 years. And again, the program is an 18-month program. Focusing on our specialized master's programs, we have a specialized master's in accounting, marketing science, MS in finance, supply chain management, management information systems, and also a master's in management. These programs are typically 9 months to complete, which is right around 30 credits. But for majority of our programs, and almost all of them, we are able to offer the business analytics certificate that does add for additional STEM designation to each program. So that takes the program from usually 9 months to 17 months, which would be considered 2 semesters if you're adding the business analytics certificate. Some of the core courses include programming, database management, data mining, etc. But again, it does add the additional OPT with the BA, which is 36 months. And also our full-time MBA is not STEM designated. The signature MBA is not STEM designated, but we do have the joint MBA BA, which would qualify as STEM designation for our programs. Now, dive into some of the admissions requirements and what we're looking for as an admissions committee, but typically during the process is that we need an undergraduate degree from an accredited institution. We are able to accept unofficial transcripts during this time. So we will only require the official transcript after you've been accepted and you've paid your acceptance fee. And before you schedule classes and orientation, we will accept the official transcripts. But at this moment, we would at least need to see your undergraduate degree and potentially a West evaluation, depending on which country that you are from. I will spend some time on the GMAT or GRE requirement because a lot of students typically have questions during this piece. The GMAT or GRE is optional, but some of the guidelines that we follow for the GMAT and GRE is that students typically are able to waive the GMAT or GRE if you have at least a 3.25 cumulative GPA and a B average in 6 or more of your quantitative courses. So that means we're looking for students with a quantitative background, students that have taken whether accounting or finance or stats during their undergraduate career. That is the best way to weigh the GMAT or GRE. If your background is maybe in social science, or maybe your background was in biology or chemistry, then it might be best to submit a GMAT or GRE just to show that you can handle the quantitative nature of the program, but also that helps the admissions committee know that you are prepared to succeed in one of our signature MBA programs. So I will spend a few minutes discussing the letters of recommendation. We typically require at least 2 letters of recommendations, whether professional or educational. Typically students who have graduated anywhere between 10 to maybe 15 years, maybe you don't have a relationship with a previous faculty member, whether an advisor or someone at Porter University. So we're looking for 2 professional references. So that would include maybe a supervisor or a director or a CEO, COO of the company or CEO of the company. Just anyone who can speak to your professional and personal characteristics that would speak well for you, to let the admissions committee know that you would be a good fit for our business school. In addition, we would need an updated resume listing out all of your accolades, professional accomplishments, internships, current work experience, any certifications, any volunteer experience. This is the best time to sell yourself and letting the admissions committee know, that you're able to work in a group setting, or you would be a great, colleague or classmate during group discussions and during any of the integrated learning opportunities here at Pitt Business. There is a written essay and also an optional essay, which you will learn of the question whenever you're applying. The written essay is required, but there is also an optional essay that is, of course, optional for students whenever you're completing your application. For the TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo English test, the admissions committee typically recommends a total score of a 100 or better on the TOEFL, a 7 or better for the IELTS exam, and a 130 or better for the Duolingo English test. I did see a few students from Ghana and Nigeria. We are able to waive the English proficiency exam for students from typically from Africa. But for our Indian candidates, we do require at least the TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo English test. Also, and I will be discussing this sometime later, but we do have many integrated learning opportunities for our students at Pitt Business. The Global Resource Practicum, which typically happens during the spring semester, usually the first week of March during spring break. Our students are able to choose from usually 2 countries where you have an opportunity to experience the business landscape in a unique environment, which will travel down with a small cohort, consulting field projects, and also Six Sigma theory and practice. And just last week, our students returned from Atlanta, Georgia for the MBA capstone, which is typically completed during your final semester as a MBA student. And it was an amazing experience for all of our soon-to-be graduates. So the MBA capstone is a really, really exciting opportunity. And I believe last year we were in Austin, Texas. So it's an amazing opportunity for our students to travel to, again, a unique city to get to connect with alumni and have an opportunity to visit different companies and organizations in a new city outside of Pittsburgh. As a Pitt Business student, you will have a close relationship with our career management team, and our career management team is one of my favorite departments on campus because they really work closely with all of our students from day one to ensure their success, and really working closely to help you really craft your career, but also present opportunities for networking, present opportunities to meet with employers, whether that's through on-campus recruiting, whether that's through, assisting with case competitions, utilizing our executives and residents, and just really creating a close bond with each student to ensure that you are successful, because that is our main goal, is to ensure that each student has a full-time job lined up by the time that they graduate. And our career management team does a phenomenal job at placing students. And I know a recent stat between our signature MBA program is that at least 86% of our students have found full-time employment within 90 days of graduating. So that really speaks to the amazing work that our career management team does, and that starts from day one. So each student would be assigned a specific career advisor to help really navigate the job search, but also updating your resume, helping you with mock interviews, even helping you negotiate your salary once you have an opportunity to receive an offer. They work that closely with each student. Some of our recent MBA grads have landed tech roles at organizations such as TikTok, SAP, LinkedIn, with Amazon typically being one of our primary employers of Katz graduates, which you'll hear from Cardican in a little bit. But some of our top functions for our students are information technology, operation logistics, consulting, and also marketing sales roles. And some of the top industries include technology, with many students obtaining jobs such as product managers as well. All right, in conclusion, before we hear from our panelists, I briefly want to discuss the application fee waiver process. The first step would be to create your application at business.pitt.edu/Katz. Your application must be started and at least close to being submitted before you can receive a fee waiver. Once you are close to submitting, please email your fee waiver request to admissions@katz.pitt.edu. And then shortly after, we will send you a unique fee waiver code. While you're emailing us and the admissions@katz.pitt.edu, please include the event that you registered for, the program that you're applying to, and also the semester you intend to start. So, for example, if I was applying to one of our programs and I was an attendee such as yourself, I would say, hi, my name is Trey Coles. I attended the SEED MBA Career Outcome Alumni Panel. I'm applying to our Signature MBA program, and I'm intending to start in fall of 2025, and that will notify the admissions team that you attended today's event, and you will receive a fee waiver. For all students on the call, it is very critical to complete your application by February 1st. If you're interested in fall of 2025. February 1st is somewhat of a rough deadline for our students for fall of 2025. Because the I-20 and visa process, it does take time. It is time consuming. So if you're interested in fall of 2025, please begin your application now. But it is important to complete your application by February 1st. We may have a little bit of leeway on March 1st, excuse me, but it is very critical to complete your application as soon as possible. So if you're interested, please begin reaching out to your recommenders, update your resume, and reach out to us as soon as possible to receive a fee waiver so you can begin the process for fall 2025. So that concludes my portion of the presentation, and I will, of course, be on the call answering questions towards the end of today. But I have the honor of introducing our upcoming panelists who have done amazing work at Pitt Business, and we're very thankful that they're able to join us today. And I know that with their busy schedules and also being on Pacific time, we really appreciate their time today. So I'm very honored to introduce Kartikeya Shula, who is a Sustainability Certification Manager at Amazon, and also Akshay Agarwal, who is the Trust Recovery and Compensation Program Manager at TikTok. So Kartikeya and Akshay, feel free to take it away. And thank you guys so much. And I'll look forward to answer some questions towards the end of today's presentation. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Trey, for this wonderful presentation. I think that was really insightful, really helpful to learn a little bit about University of Pittsburgh, the Katz Graduate School of Business. Without further ado, I would like to, just for the sake of everyone here, we've spent around 20-25 minutes discussing about, University of Pittsburgh and trying to have Zoom to connect for some of you as well. We're around 75 odd people strong right now. So we are expecting some more people as we go along as well. Over the next 30 to 35 minutes, we'll learn and we'll pick Akshay's and Kartikeya's brains about, their journey, their career trajectory, their experience at University of Pittsburgh, and what are some of the advice pieces for prospective students like you who are looking to pursue their master's or MBA program. MBA program primarily, not masters. We'll start with you, Akshay. Akshay, life at TikTok, must be beautiful from the outside because that's something a lot of us enjoy. Unfortunately, not here in India so far, but would like to share some insights about just your overall profile, your background, and your journey to University of Pittsburgh and then to TikTok as well.
Sure. Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Akshay Agarwal. And prior to joining Katz for my MBA and MIS dual degree, I initially did my undergrad in computer science. And post that, I worked at Oracle as a cloud consultant and then as a senior cloud consultant, where I was primarily responsible to work with clients, understanding their technical requirements on Oracle's separate cloud products, and then building those solutions out for them. But post that, after 4 years, I was kind of feeling a little monotonous in my work, in the sense that I knew that I had a lot of technical experience that I had gained during my work there, but I was feeling a lack of business sense in what I was working. I knew how to build the technical solutions, but I was not able to connect it to why I was building those solutions out. And so I sort of seeked to pursue an MBA to kind of understand or gain the business sense of certain things. Katz was one of my top choices because of a lot of reasons. One, it was offering a dual degree, which kind of blended with my experience. So the MBA and MIS program together kind of blended both the business and the technological aspect of what I was interested in. Second, that also what it did was it provided us a STEM OPT option, which essentially means that you get an extension or your visa. If you do a normal degree, you get a 1 year work visa. If you do a STEM designated degree, you get an additional 2 years. So you get a 3 year period to work in the US. Uh, I also got a pretty generous scholarship from the university because of my application. Like Trey mentioned, uh, if you're good with your application, if your answers are good, if your scores either in TOEFL or GMAT are good, then the university does grant you a generous scholarship. So that was also a good reason. Pittsburgh, while is an amazing city, along with that is one of the more affordable cities in the US. So that was also one of the reasons why I chose this particular university. Because as a student, obviously, a lot of us come to the US with student loans. So one of the options that I was seeking was to live in a city that was not very expensive as a student. So all these reasons kind of added up to why I wanted to join the university. But the most important thing, or the most important reason why I joined the university was I had gotten admissions from 4 or 5 different universities in the US, and I had started connecting with alumni from those universities. But I just felt a different connection with the alumni from this particular university. It just felt like people wanted me to be there, kind of thing. Like they were very helpful throughout the entire journey. Like I had a lot of questions, like I'm pretty sure you guys have, about very minuscule things. And the alumni from this particular university really kind of stood out for me and kind of gave me the confidence that this university will be a right fit for me. Uh, and I had a pretty good experience at Katz. I did a lot of different programs, which I'm sure will be questioned. I won't get into more detail there, but yeah, I did a lot of different amazing things at Katz, and yeah, that kind of helped me a lot into getting or transitioning into a program management position at TikTok Shop currently. Again, a very, very fascinating role in the e-commerce space. And yeah, happy to answer questions related to my position as well, based on the time. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Akshay, for that detailed introduction and that background, and also some of your motivations to join the University of Pittsburgh. Karthikeya, I think something similar, just a little bit about your background, your decision making to join, like, why you'd like to have done an MBA back then, and a little bit about what you're doing today.
Perfect. Yeah. So to begin with, I will draw some parallels that I and Akshay had. So similarly, like Katz offered a generous scholarship, and University of Pittsburgh has a lot of resources, which was aligning with my expectations. Now, in contrast to Akshay, like I am a chemical engineer. I graduated back in 2017, and I started working for a startup consulting firm very early on in my career. Then I moved into more of a multinational consulting firm. And I have been working in energy and sustainability for a long time. Like I had done around 5 years of consulting work. During that time, I realized that the consulting world is kind of moving away from the static PowerPoint presentation to something more dynamic. So, which piqued my interest that I need to enhance my skill set about international businesses, as well as I need more knowledge about the data oriented way of thinking, like data analytical tools, R, Python, machine learning. So I thought that I need both an MBA and an MS in MIS. So University of Pittsburgh, again, it offered a dual degree program which kind of fits perfectly with my requirement, and it also provides the STEM OPT option, which is also very beneficial. So coming down to the decision making process, so I started doing my own research and figuring out like how different universities have been releasing their documentation in terms of the career reports, and in the career report I saw that University of Pittsburgh has a higher percentage of people landing up in consulting roles, and that was the time when I thought that I would be growing further in the world of consultancy. However, it did not turn out to be that, because when you enter your MBA journey, you are given a lot of options, and University of Pittsburgh provides you a lot of resources, especially like the tools that were mentioned in the slide by Trey. That is the industry immersions, different case competition, different webinars. You get chances to meet a lot of C-suite executives from different tech companies. So you know like in which direction the world is going towards. So that kind of like opened my eyes towards like what different things can be done, and I decided to rekindle my childhood passion towards sustainability, and I went all in it, and I started making most of the resources for sustainability. And today I ended up working with Amazon, and adding to the Akshay's point that connecting with alumni was fairly easier for me, and it kind of uh, reinforced my decision that I should be going towards Katz. And just out of coincidence, the first person I connected with from Katz, University of Pittsburgh, is also my neighbor currently in Amazon. He sits in the office just above me. So life is short, and people can turn out to be very helpful. So networking is something that Katz really inspires every student, and I will say that one should be focusing a lot on networking and talking and asking the right question to the right people.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for that, Karthika. I think that was nicely put together introduction about your motivations to join CATS as well. You spoke about sustainability, decarbonization, etc. in your current role and the need for doing the dual degree, the master's plus the MBA at CATS. Could you throw some light on what was some of the points with the MBA that really helped you to get there? This could be primarily inside the classroom, Karthikeya, or it might be outside the classroom as well. But if you had to, pinpoint two or three things that the MBA really, helped you in order to do your job effectively, efficiently, and with all the confidence that you have today.
Yeah, so I would like to give the most of the credits to University of Pittsburgh's Center for Sustainable Business. During my first semester itself, I came across Center, and they offer a sustainability fellowship where they allow students to work as a student worker and a part-time consultant to companies, helping them solve real-world problems. So I worked with two companies. One was Target. They are a carpet manufacturer. I learned a new skill of doing life cycle assessment, like calculating carbon footprint across a carpet manufacturer's entire supply chain. And in year two, I got a chance to work for this company called CNX. They are natural gas provider to our Pittsburgh International Airport, and how they are going to switch towards sustainable aviation fuel. And during my work with Center for Sustainable Business, that's when I came across Environmental Defense Fund Climate Corp Fellowship. And because of my connection with the center, the guidance from the center, as well as the practice and mentorship I got from CATS career resources, especially the Executive in Residence tool, these were some of the instrumental learnings and inputs I got, which made me qualify for Environmental Defense Fund Climate Corp Fellowship. And I got a chance to fly all across Alaska and work for this oil and gas company in helping them develop a decarbonization strategy. So it is all the little things and little experiences that did add up, and it made my life go in the direction to reach where I am today.
Wonderful, Karthik. I think that is truly inspiring for, certain wonderful elements that, CATS provides its students and now alumni as well. Akshay, any such things for you where two or three things that the MBA, either inside the classroom or outside the classroom, really help to, reach where you are today at TikTok? And how do some of those things really help you in your current job?
Sure, I think the entire MBA program is like a program management job, I guess, in a way, because like you are program managing a lot of things together, be it outside the class where you have a lot of activities that you do. It might be case competitions, it might be clubs that you join within the university, or uh, just household chores as well. completing assignments, preparing for exams, searching for internships, networking. It's all like a program management where you have to manage different aspects all together. But apart from that, I think a lot of courses specifically, I would like to highlight the global research practicum. I had a chance to visit Japan for a couple of weeks in my last semester, and that was one of the highlights of my MBA program, to be honest. We got the opportunity to visit 5 or 6 different companies in Japan. What it did was it did two things. I was in a class of 25 people who I did not know. So I networked with those people as well. And because we were traveling to Japan together, we really forged really good friendships. But apart from that, just understanding the business landscape of a different country than the one which you've already worked in or where you intend to work in was very insightful. Just understanding how the business landscape across the globe is kind of evolving in a way from a tech standpoint, from a sustainability standpoint, just understanding very basic nuances of how the work culture is of a different country, how people like to talk, how what the focus of that particular country is. So these things really kind of elevated my thought process in terms of strategic management in a way um, of things. I personally feel that program was very helpful in me working with a diverse set of people while when I joined TikTok. So yeah, that was one of the programs. And Karthik would also agree that we both participated in a lot of case competitions that Katz kind of focuses on. There are a lot of case competitions that students bring to Katz, and Katz is pretty generous to support those case competitions. And there are a lot of case competitions that Katz brings to the students. So we just involved ourselves in a lot of extracurricular activities like these, which kind of helped us solve real world problems, even though we were in a student environment in a way, but we still started to kind of know what the companies want, what the companies are trying to solve, and we started thinking about those kind of problems, which kind of helped during our interview process as well. And yeah, I think those things definitely helped.
Wonderful. I think, one thing that I have learned throughout this journey is the MBA is how much you want to make of it. I know there is a lot of extra reading material, but there are a lot of other opportunities to go out and have some fun as well. It's the balance between what you must do. So, that was very well summarized by both Akshay and Karthikeya in there as well. Just looking at both your backgrounds, both of you have done an engineering program back in India before actually taking that flight. And after the engineering program, you guys have done some work in India, prior to your MBA program. How important is work experience before it comes to an MBA program? And Karthikeya, you are in a good position to answer that since you've also done a master's where experience might not be mandatory and you might have met people from different backgrounds as well. Could you throw some light on the importance of the pre-MBA experience? Because in India, as you might know, you can do an MBA right after you finish graduation. But whereas, back in the States, you need some level of work experience, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. Average work experience is about 5 to 6 years. So would you throw some light, Karthik, on the importance of work experience prior to doing an MBA program?
Yeah, definitely. That's an interesting question, and I do get this question from a lot of students who have been reaching out to me on LinkedIn. How important is the work X? So the thing is that having work X of, let's say, more than 3 years places one person in a situation where they are in connect with how industry work, like not only culturally but also regarding the workflow, how industries are driven, like are they target driven, are they vision driven, are they mission driven, and they can also learn this idea of like how to coordinate and work with people whom you might have not known a few seconds earlier. And these are the skills which can only be learned either on job or through various exercises that these MBA programs like CATS offers. So to give you an example, that when I was given the opportunity to work for my internship that was with Environmental Defense Fund, My task was not a well laid out job description. It was a whiteboard question that we need to develop a strategy. Now, had I not have had the consulting background, it would be very difficult for me to start to find the starting point. But having had a consulting background did help me navigate the challenge in a structured manner. So I will strongly recommend that having a work experience will certainly go a long way in making you successful in your MBA journey. But is that a must have? I don't think so, because there is a lot that you can learn and achieve in your MBA. And as Sharang, you have yourself put, it is all you who decides what they want from their MBA journey. There's a lot to get out of it.
Thanks so much, Karthikeya, also for that. Akshay, one of the most important questions that candidates from India actually look at by the time they finish the program is ROI. And ROI, if you look at it purely in terms of numbers, is return on investment, which means how soon can you pay back the fees with the money that you make. But I look at a different definition of ROI. Yes, it is about the money, but it's also about the people that you meet, and some of the investments that you make. For example, Karthikeya spoke about the alumni who he reached out to now shares office space with him at Amazon. So I think that is some bit of networking as well. Could you talk about a little bit about ROI, and what are some of the important elements that Pittsburgh Cats help you guys when it comes to finding your opportunities that you guys currently are at? Why I'm spending time on this is because at PES University and Bangalore, there is the concept of placements like it is in a lot of Indian, engineering colleges, but that doesn't happen in the West. Could you throw some light in the difference between, career services at PES University in Bangalore versus what you found at Pittsburgh Cats?
Yeah, very good question. I think a lot of people, when even I was coming from India to the US, my initial thought process was like, I was just thinking about, okay, I've taken this amount of loan. How quickly would I be able to pay back that loan? How would I sustain in the US for 2 years on a student loan? How can I cut my costs and stuff like that? But one thing that I don't know how it came into me, but I was like, I should not focus on the monetary aspect right now in terms of thinking about a job that will pay back my loan kind of thing. I was just more focused on doing whatever was presented in front of me and trying to take the most advantage of what Katz was offering, which was like joining different kind of clubs, be it consulting clubs, product management clubs. I was part of the student executive board as well, and I organized a lot of events for students across the board, and I took part in a lot of case competitions. I did the consulting field project. I did a lot of things that kept me engaged and increased my learning, while I also started networking with a lot of industry folks who were in the industry for a long time. And for me, that was more of an ROI than the monetary aspect, because like you mentioned, when you connect with these people, you start learning about things that eventually you want to do in future. It might be in 2 3 years or 5 years, but you get the opportunity to connect with those people because you've reached at a particular place in the US, and you get that window of opportunity to network with them, right? So that was for me ROI. Even now, when I'm getting paid, I'm not looking at it as an opportunity to pay off my loan, but rather than that, I'm more focused on how I can learn even more at my job. How can I connect with more people within my company, understand their backgrounds, understand how they reach to positions where I would eventually want to reach in the next 3 or 4 years. So I look at ROI in that sense. Uh, but like you mentioned about the career services, comparing it with India, yes, in India, there are placement cells where you kind of have the opportunity to just sit in interviews or sit in the first round tests, and it's a much more easier process to get an interview. While you crack it or not, that's all upon you. But like, yes, getting an interview in India, I would say, is an easier way of how the colleges have done. But in the West, specifically for international students, things get challenging because it's not only about finding job opportunities, but also opportunities that sponsor your visa. So that's where, if let's assume there are 100 companies that are hiring in the US, I would say there are 25 that sponsor visa. So automatically the odds of getting a job for an international student does get a little difficult in that sense. But I think Katz does a really wonderful job, like Trey mentioned, right from day one, where they start off. They put you on a course where you kind of start working on your resume. You get a lot of you have a lot of resources to work with, but again, you need to be proactive to reach out to those resources. It cannot be like in India where you're spoon fed certain things. Here, you have to be more proactive because resources would be there, but you have to reach out to those resources. So Katz does a very good job in providing a lot of what they call as executive in residence, where they have like a panel of 7 or 8 people who were Katz alumni from like 20 or 25 years ago. They have a lot of industry experience. They do a lot of resume evaluations. They help you curate your resume based on the role that you're looking for. They conduct a lot of mock interviews. If you're interested in consulting, they can take your case interviews. If you're interested in product management, they can help you understand how to crack product case interviews. So a lot of these resources are available. They also send out job openings, internship openings on a weekly basis. So they do what they can do from their side. But again, like I said, the student or the international student that's joining the university, and it's not only specific to Katz, it's for all the universities in the US. No university like gives you a job on a platter. You have to work towards it, which involves networking. Again, like Katz has a very, very strong alumni hold across a lot of very, very good Fortune 500 companies. So that also is a very helpful step because Katz invites these alumni for a lot of talks. You can network very openly with those kind of people that you could not find on LinkedIn. So yeah, I would say there are a lot of resources, but yes, unlike India, you have to reach out to those resources to make the absolute most of them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Like in India, there is placements. It's not the case there. You'll have to, look for jobs by yourself. But, top universities like the University of Pittsburgh does provide you the resources to act as a catalyst in your job search journey. We have around 12 to 13 minutes more, before we close this session. We already have had a whirlwind of questions, close to 36 questions. 34 of them have been answered by wonderful folks who are here from the University of Pittsburgh. So if you have any questions, now is the best time to ask those questions as we wrap up in the next 10 to 12 minutes. I have still a couple of more questions for you, Karthikeyan and Akshay, and then I'm going to get some of the other panelists also to answer some questions. As you know, c- folks who have seen this process, Karthikeyan, if you joined this, session maybe a year before you actually took the flight to the US, what are some of the key tips that you'd like to share some of the prospective students? Any mistakes you made throughout this journey, be it in the application process or just along the way that you would like, some of your other friends in the future, maybe, some of the people who are in this session might work at Amazon tomorrow and report into you and, in those respective roles, just how you got the benefit of networking, if you'd like to share some advice to prospective students coming in.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So this is something which I learned later in my second semester, which I should have been doing like since day one. That is that when I was looking at myself, like after graduation, there were the idea of like being in the world of consultancy. But as I have mentioned, that in the middle of the ground, I decided that no, it is operations and strategy which has started appealing to me more. However, what I could have done before is that I could have given myself an option on day one itself. Okay, this is where I will progress in my career in consultancy. Option two, this is what I'm getting good at, operations and strategy. Now, at that point itself, one should be drawing a matrix. The matrix would be like on one axis, have a set of industries that you have worked with, you have experience with, you have knowledge about. And on the other axis, the job function areas that you're aware of, that you're good at. If you're a consultant, you're a problem solver. If you're in program management, you're good with operations, you're good with in finding efficiency gains. Now, when you have this matrix of like these overlapping industries and job function, now is the time to start doing your own research with different job descriptions available on LinkedIn, like they're available for everyone. Now you have to start figuring out what is the pattern of the skill set being required by these Fortune 500 companies who are hiring at your dream roles. When you have that clarity on day one itself, that puts you in a perfect place to let you navigate through the plethora of resources that University of Pittsburgh offers. So for me, it was starting with Center for Sustainable Business, doing macro credentials regarding sustainability, cracking my first internship with Environmental Defense Fund, going all the way with working with different executive in residences and with different faculties, getting resume reviewed, networking, giving interviews, and yeah, like finding my way out of the world of being a graduate student to working at Amazon for sustainability. So that would be my one advice, that if you are taking a decision, ask yourself three whys. Why am I doing that? Okay, why is that required? Okay, is this the only way? If you can answer the three whys, go ahead and take that action.
Wonderful. I think in the MBA we learned about quotas, five forces, and BCG matrix, but over the last couple of minutes we learned about Kartikeya Shukla's matrix and also the three W's that each of you might answer before you take that flight. So thank you so much. These are very good two actionable points that Kartikeya suggested. Akshay, just to round it off, any quick advice for folks in your place a few years ago?
Yeah, I think if you genuinely want to work and hustle, that's when you decide to come to the US. Uh, if you're just coming here with the mindset that the life in US is wonderful and I'll make a lot of money, then that's a wrong approach to come to the US. I would say that is one of the major learnings that I have had. Along with that, I also uh, I'm not someone who is good at small talk with people, and I quickly figured out that in networking, that is one of the essential characteristics that you need. So initially, when I was starting to network with people, because I had not really practiced this in India, uh, but yeah, like I was making it very transactional in the sense that I used to go to network to certain people so that I could get job referrals or internship referrals. And it never felt very organic. But this is what I changed post my internship experience, where I started focusing on making more organic and real connections with people rather than making it transactional. You just need to look at it from the other person's view as well. Like if they're offering you something, then you also have to be good enough to offer them something. Maybe not immediately, but maybe in a year or so. So yeah, just that I think is a very valuable lesson that I have learned over the course of my MBA.
Wonderful. So, building soft skills before taking that flight would surely help. Trey Collins is also, been part of this industry. If you, as an admission officer, would like to share some insights, Trey, about, what are some of the common mistakes you see applicants make, and some pieces of advice for candidates as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to add to everyone's point, I think more so during the admissions process, we find that students don't sell themselves as best as they possibly could. So just ensure, and I touched on the resume component, make sure that you're listing all of your recent accomplishments, your achievements, and what you're looking to get out of an MBA at Pitt Business. Because again, to our career management component, our career management team is looking is their main objective is to ensure that each student is successful. And that is really critical. So whenever you're applying to Pitt Business, make sure that you're reaching out to alumni, you're talking to current students, you're maybe scheduling a 30-minute call with one of the members of the admissions teams. Maybe you're joining information sessions, doing whatever you possibly can to learn more about career outcomes, but also how the career team will help you, of course, reach your end goal. So if I could provide any advice, I would just say just stay connected to the admissions team as much as possible. Try to utilize utilize LinkedIn or any other network opportunities to connect with alumni. But also if we're in India in the future next year, through a on-campus event or a virtual event, feel free to join and ask questions, because it's always good to hear from an admissions perspective, but also hearing from current students like Kartikeya and Akshay, because that'll give you more insight, especially help you out whenever you're completing your video interview for the full-time MBA.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Trace, for that as well. Just a follow-up question for you, Trace, basis what you have mentioned, and the so many candidates that you speak to. Two things that they, Indian candidates, look for is one, they look for value, and, where ROI also comes in. And the other one is they are, also look for, the experience, that the program gives. If you'd like to share some thoughts on both these aspects, when you talk about value, if you can throw some light. I know you have done this at the start of your presentation, talking about scholarships and the programs, but also, what have you seen some of the Indian graduates like Akshay and Kartikeya actually do after graduation? How easy, difficult, have they been to find a job, and, share some light about the experience as well, some of the out of classroom activities that happen at Katz. I think, that's something, if you can try and, throw some light, that'll be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm not a member of the career management team, but I can speak to some of the great work that they conduct each year for our students, just to ensure that they are successful. So for any students that join the call later or missed that piece, again, the career management team works closely with each student to really provide a wide range of support and services to ensure career growth during the program, but also post-graduation. So, Kartikeya and Akshay were examples of that. They work closely with our career management team, and that shows to their success, in finding roles at Amazon and TikTok. In addition, I think that some of the components to the career team, which would help students land their ideal career, is that we typically can guarantee that student will find a full-time job, to be fully transparent. But some of the resources that we do offer at Katz is individual career coaching, again, helping you build your resume, helping you with search strategies, preparing you for that interview, but also really building a career plan or career path so students can be successful. In addition, we do offer many, networking events. So whether that's through career fairs, which we have, whether virtually or on campus, we have company information sessions. And just recently, again, during the MBA capstone, our students were able to meet, prominent alumni in the Atlanta region. And in previous years, we have, of course, Austin, Texas, and so many other amazing cities. So these are just some of the benefits that our students have available to them as a Pitt business student that will help them, of course, become successful. Outside of that, and outside of maybe the career piece and the classroom piece, is that we have an office that works closely through our graduate programs team, which is in student engagement. So many of our students, international students, are able to participate in extracurricular activities. The University of Pittsburgh is huge. We are, the campus is maybe 5-10 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh. So outside of like the theater and art and music and all the amazing things that Pittsburgh offers, within Pitt Business, we have many affinity groups that students can participate in. We have over a dozen clubs and organizations, such as the Student Executive Board or International Business Association, or the consulting club, the finance club, marketing club. So there's so many opportunities where students can really build a network here in Pittsburgh, but also, build connections that will, of course, help students after they graduate. So there are so many opportunities for students at Pitt Business. Aside from our student engagement team, it really is the great work that our career management helps with our students literally on day one. So.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Trey. I think that was very helpful as well. Akshay, Kartikeya, I'm going to put you on the spot and request you for one last piece of advice that you'd like to give, the 65 odd people still tuned in. Akshay, if you'd like to go first on that.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, if you are willing to work hard and hustle through the program and are willing to learn and grind it out, then yes, US is a very good destination to come to pursue your master's, be it MBA or a master's program. Uh, but yeah, you need to have that mindset of being willing to work extremely hard, because there are certain things that you are kind of used to when you are living in India, um, versus what you would do in the US. So yeah, if you have that mindset, if you actually want to uh, grow in your career in that sense, then yes, definitely the US has a plethora of opportunities. Uh, but yeah, again, just willing to work and grind is one of the most important things, I would say.
Yeah,
Super. Thanks for that, Karthikeya. Yeah.
I would like to reiterate what Akshay has said, that if you are taking that flight, you are taking a decision and you're investing 2 years of your life, at least 2 years of your life, learning new skills. So um, believe in the fact, have trust in yourself that you are going outside your comfort zone. It is not only academically and professionally where you would be growing as a person yourself. You won't only be learning the technical skills, the networking skills, soft skills, hard skills. You would also be going through a cultural change where the way you think, the way you structure your thoughts, and even the way you speak, everything is going to change because you're flying diametrically opposite to the earth where you have been living your entire life. So there's a lot which is going to change. So reiterating Akshay's point, if you are willing to work hard, grind, and have a structured approach, then yes, you should be taking this decision. But if you have slightest of doubts, make sure that you train yourself well before taking that decision. That would be my last piece of advice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Akshay. Thank you so much, Karthik. And thank you so much, Trey, as well. And to Rebecca and to Gina, who in the background have been who've been patiently answering a plethora of questions, around 41 questions already answered by some of the folks there. I'd like to take this opportunity once again to thank each and every one of you. If you have any questions, you will get an email and a WhatsApp message from us in the next 24 to 30 hours, if I'd say so, which would cover a little bit about this session, the recording of this session. If your friends or you have missed any part of this session, that should be helpful. And we'll also share the details about how you can start your application at the University of Pittsburgh Katz Graduate School of Business. Once again, thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you so much, Gina, Akshay Kartike, and Trey Coles as well. Trey Coles. My apologies. I should get that right at least by now. But yes, thank you so much, and wish you a good rest of the day and good evening to all my friends here in India and South Asia. And bye now.